Um, so recently I've been on a lot of, really familiar social networking sites um, that I wasn't really on a whole lot a few months ago. I'm on summer leave from school. So usually I don't really scroll through a lot of tweets or status updates. But lately, in scrolling through Facebook status updates in particular, I've seen a lot of like, wow, I really hate it when girls do this, or like, wow, look at that bitch, or, uh, posts with really similar content. And I realize that Facebook is a place where people can talk about whatever they want. So I try to just not say anything and kind of avoid it and ignore it. Um, I read like 10 of these today, all within a couple hours of each other, and I didn't comment on any of them, but I decided that it was time to talk about it. I don't know if all of those posters will watch this video, and that's fine. But please just hang in there with me for a few minutes. I'll try to not make this crazy long. I actually wrote a script this time. Um, but just hear me out. Um, why is it a problem? I think that's a very core thing is why is this an issue? In the only instance where I ever actually asked someone why they made a post that was sort of generalizing women, they were kind of like, well, I don't get what's wrong with that. Like, girls really do that. But here's the thing, girls, like, don't do anything. Um, Girls is a general term, referring to chromosomes. And even beyond that, like, I view girls, in a scientific manner that, like, once you're past age 18, well, you're technically a woman. But we all kind of use, like, girl and woman interchangeably. But girls don't do anything. Like, I don't do the same thing as my next door neighbor. I don't do the same thing as all the women that I go to school with. They all have individual brains and situations that they have to deal with. And we all have different worldviews that have been shaped by our experiences. So to say, like, I hate it when girls, before anything, stop and ask yourself one question. And that is, why am I saying this? And that seems like a really simple question. Like, well, I'm saying it because girls do this. But I'm asking you to dismantle your question further than that. What's the motivation there? Did I see someone on TV that I was threatened by? Was it a girl at a party or in some social situation that was acting a certain way or made me uncomfortable? And so I feel the need to talk crap about it to feel more secure about myself? Or is it an issue that I'm having with one person or maybe a small group of people? Because if it's a first situation where you're talking crap about a girl in real life in a social situation, or a woman that you've seen on TV or in a movie or something, it's really important to remember that that I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. If you're talking crap about a girl that you've seen on TV or in a social situation, to feel better about yourself, I realize that that's really hard to admit to yourself. That's probably the biggest struggle, is admitting, well, it makes me feel inadequate. Believe me, that's really, really hard to do. But once you get there, things get so much better. But if that's a reason that you're doing it, you should probably kind of reassess and realize that you're being really mean to someone, and also in a passive aggressive way because you're not talking about them specifically. You're turning it into a generalized statement, which hurts people that weren't involved in the problem. And that person probably did not do anything to you directly to hurt your feelings, to upset you. And if it's for the second reason that you're having an issue with one person or maybe a small group of people, that isn't really related to a social issue or you feeling inadequate, that probably shouldn't be on a social networking site in general. And I mean, that's your call whether you want to post or not. I can just tell you from personal experience that even if you have your profile all locked to 9 yards, you never know who's watching you. And that can really come back to bite you in the ass. You know, potential employers do look at people's Facebook profiles sometimes. And if they find, you know, just a bunch of like crap talking, they're probably going to think that you're not really the kind of person that they want to employ. That's something that's better dealt with one-on-one rather than just on the internet. After you've asked yourself that question and thought about it for a while, and I mean, once you found the reason that you're saying something that slights an entire gender, it's important to reflect on the incidents and try to find the very core of the reason that these things are bothering you. You know, for me, I mean, I used to hate women on TV. I always had something negative to say about them. And it bothered me because it made me feel bad about myself. They made me feel bad about myself. I was really inadequate. But it's not like the actress did that. Or it's not like, you know, their character did that. You know, they didn't reach their finger out and point at you in the audience and say, like, you're a terrible person and you should feel bad about yourself because you're not as pretty as me and all these things. That's a writer's problem. Guys write 80% of women's roles in movies and TV, and they're really bad at it. We're used to seeing one-dimensional characters on TV. They're not humans. And I think that that's the reason that a lot of people sort of view other people as not human and try to hold them to an inhuman standard. And for me, I mean, I began to dismantle the idea behind why I felt inadequate compared to, you know, women in movies on TV. And it goes back to that media thing that women are portrayed as very competitive, very catty, and only in relation to a man. And so whether we realize this consciously or not, it's a very internalized idea. I didn't even realize that this was an idea that I had, that you know, I hear all the time, like, oh, I like to hang out with dudes because girls are drama. We're told to be that way, so it's kind of unfair to hate somebody for something that we've been told our entire lives to be like. You know, we don't all have the luxury of breaking out of the mold, and in all honesty, we shouldn't have to. We should be who we are. But I'm kind of derailing myself. But we're shown that fighting each other to be the most beautiful character, the sexiest, the most interesting, the most sought after girl in the place, you know. And this is most pointedly seen in reality television, and we all want to be that special snowflake that attracts male gaze, and feel like we're queen of the universe. But you want to know who makes you queen of the universe? It's not a guy. It's not some mystical being that's going to come out of somewhere and sweep you off your feet and make you feel like you're just fucking amazing and the sun shines out your butt. Like, you make yourself queen of the universe. You know, your fucking brain, your heart, your hands, every part of you. Like, you can do what you want to. Isn't that fucking cool? Like, there might be somebody to complain about it, but who cares? Do what you want to do. That's the thing. And by talking shit about an entire gender of people for acting a certain way is to tell them that whatever they're doing in their lives isn't good enough. And that hurts. And I can tell you from personal experience, that hurts to think that I can't do what I want to do or what I've been told that I have to do because somebody's going to judge me. And that I have to keep acting a certain way to make people happy. And that's not how it is. You know, we don't exist to make other people happy. If other people are happy as a result of our happiness and sharing that happiness with them, then great. But it's not our responsibility to make other people happy. And women can be very strong, and we are. We're strong and we're powerful. We're masters of our own effing domain. And we have to be a support to ourselves and other women so that we don't feel alone. And we don't have to be insecure. We don't have to rip each other's hair out and scream at each other and spend so much of our lives hating other humans. It's so exhausting. You will save yourself so much pain and anguish. Love women. Be their friends. Women are fucking awesome. Other women are your sisters. And it's really important to support them and love them. And you build this community around with other women that becomes this really tight and unbreakable bond. And that's really important for self-preservation and, the survival of women as a whole. And, I have to say that when you become friends with other people and you help sort of lift them out of the darkness that's just hating everyone and everything because, they don't fall into your ideal worldview, that it becomes really amazing. And I can tell you that I used to be one of those people who posted stuff like this, and it took me for a really long time to come to terms with the fact that this language was hurting me, and it was hurting other women, and it was helping to subjugate us and keep us vying for some invisible prize that's not real and doesn't exist. And when I came to an understanding about it, I reached this level of calm where, I've been able to be a support to other people. I've made really amazing friends, and, we're there for each other and we support each other, and they're my sisters, and we've created, a safe community. And it's so important to create a community that's safe and not based on any form of hatred. And these posts, I hate it when girls do this, or I hate it when they do that. They really reflect this idea that it's okay to judge other people's actions and to make women feel bad about their behavior, even when it's learned behavior. And I don't think that it's true that we think women are inherently deserving of feeling bad about ourselves. I don't think anyone wants to feel inadequate, and I don't think anybody wants to feel as less than. So it's really important to realize that your language needs to create a safe space for yourself and for other people to get the respect and the love that they deserve as human beings. Every single person deserves that.